Black Cat by Sky Aurelia. Chapter 1. The Beginning or the End. I woke to a knock at the door. The room was still dark. I looked beside me at the digital clock on the nightstand, a red number glaring at me. It's 2:24 am. There was another knock at the door, louder this time. I raised up, removing the covers and sliding my legs over the side of the bed, getting up slowly. I stretched, yawning loudly before turning towards the bedroom door and crossing the room, opening it, revealing the living room, also dark and barely able to be made out. Only shadows in the dark outlining objects. I make my way through the living room to the front door. I stop at the door, looking through the peephole to see who is at the door, but I can't make them out. All I see is a shadowy figure at the door waiting. I open the door slowly, turning the porch light on, revealing the person knocking at the door. A female cat standing at my door. She was as black as the night, with ocean blue eyes and long raven black hair down to the middle of her back, though covered in mud. She wore a dark blue t-shirt and jeans, both full of holes and covered in mud. She was breathing heavily. I looked at her a moment and asked if she was okay. She looked at him a moment, noticing how blue his eyes are, with golden specks around the iris. His black fur with only a white spot on his chest, and short dark hair cut military style. He looked strong, like he could lift you up one-handed. He looked like he could take care of himself, she thought to herself before saying, "No, something is after me." But I got away for the moment. My bodyguard told me to come here if something happened. We were attacked in the night. He fought them off so I could escape, but I don't think he made it, she replied. I regarded her words for a moment before opening the door the rest of the way, inviting her in. She looked like she needed the help. She only hesitated a moment before entering my home. As she did, she looked around the room, in the darkness of the room with only the porch light shining into the house. She could see a couch in the middle of the room with a brown wooden coffee table in front of it, facing a big TV. An table at each end of the couch, the one closest to the wall with a lamp on it, and a bookshelf on the wall next to the couch. She stopped by the couch, looking around the room nervously. I don't think they followed me. Are you sure it's safe? She asked, to which he replied, I will have to secure the perimeter to be sure. You should get cleaned up. He pointed to a door behind the couch next to one leading to his room and said, the bathroom is over there. Sorry, I don't have clean clothes to offer you though. She turned to the door, walking over. Thank you for the help, she said before vanishing behind the door. I waited a moment. Hell, I could hear the sounds of water running in the bathroom. Before picking up my phone off the end table, I searched through my contacts, finding one of my friends. His name was Alex. I had known him since childhood. He was always there for me when I needed him. He was human, but he saved my life as a kitten and raised me. He taught me everything I know about being a bodyguard. I sent him a text telling him about the girl that showed up at my home asking for his help. I set my phone back down and turned, crossing the room to the light switch, flicking it on and walking into the kitchen. I grab a few glasses out of the cabinet, filling them with water. I take a drink from one and take them both with me, leaving one on the end table. I headed back to the front door, exiting my home, closing the door behind me. My home was small with a big yard. It was about 3 acres on all sides with a metal fence around it. There was a few trees around the yard. One was an old cedar tree to the northeast corner of the property. One was an apple tree in the backyard just behind the house, and the last one was a pine just outside the front door on the left side. There was a grey stone path leading out to the main gate. I looked around for a moment, seeing no movement in the yard, so I started walking down the path to the main gate. Once I reached it, I secured the gate, locking it behind me so no one else could enter without setting off the security system. I turned to the northeast side of the yard, heading over to the cedar tree. As I reached the tree, I looked around it and up into it, making sure no one was in the tree. After searching the tree, I headed south to the backyard and turned to go behind the house, making my way to the apple tree. The tree was still a sapling, only a few feet tall. I looked around the backyard. It didn't seem anyone had followed her so far. I continued making my way around the house, heading west, then turning the corner of the house to head north again. Still seeing no one, I just continued on making my way around the next corner, reaching the pine tree. It was not big enough to hide a person either. After I scanned the front yard one more time, I opened the front door, walking back into the house. As I entered the house, she finally emerged from the bathroom, still wearing her torn clothing, but no longer covered in mud. Her clothes looked wet. I could tell she had cleaned them in the sink. I offered her a seat on the couch with some water, moving to the other end and taking a seat myself. I regarded her a moment before saying, my name is Midnight. Can you tell me your name? And what you are running away from? And who this bodyguard was that sent you to me? She hesitated a moment before answering me, saying, my name is Vex, and I am running away from a group called the Evolved. They have been after me for as long as I can remember. They seek to wipe out the humans. They intended to use me as a sacrifice to their god. They believe sacrificing me will give them the power to call their go to this world. My bodyguard's name was Spike. He was a white dog with black spots all over with green eyes and blonde hair with a strong build. She thought about him for a moment and a tear ran down her cheek. He said you would be able to help me. I thought about what she said for a while then before saying, we are going to need some help. My friend Alex will know where we can take for you to hide. I will contact him and set something up. For now you can use the couch. You should get some sleep. I got up walking over to the light switch, flicking the light off, then turning to head to my bedroom. Once I am back in my bedroom, I climb back into bed thinking about what we should next for a few hours before falling back to sleep. This concludes chapter 1. Chapter 2 coming soon.